Hey yo, folks, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be looking at Lego Sonic the Hedgehog set number 76991, Tails' Workshop and Tornado Plane. This set released in 2023 for $40 US and contains 2 cool minifigures and 376 pieces. As you can see, this set has a lot of builds, small and big, so let's look at all those cool builds in 3, 2, 1! Starting off, we're looking at these more small and simple builds, starting with these rings, which consist of 3 pieces, that being this dish piece, as well as this rod piece, which are both clear, as well as this ring piece, which was new at the time, which is a really convenient piece. It's a lot similar to the tube piece that was used before, but it's a brand new piece to help prevent using more convoluted ways to have the ring standing, which is a really good way to have it done. But now we're moving on to the tool bench, or the workbench, or the toolbox, whatever you want to call it, which has some of these cool wheels to have it move around, along with a handle to help push it, as well as these 2 clips at the back to have stuff like these accessories, like the wrench and all that. And you got 2 compartments, which one having candy and the other having this printed piece, which, if you wanted, you could use the studs on top to place it on there. Oops, I'll grab that, but yeah, as you see there. And finally, of these bunch, we got this cool beach chair, which is a really simple yet cool build, which is able to support characters like Sonic, who have weird heads, but helps them be able to sit back and chillax with their big heads and all that, and just any figure can fit on there, aside from maybe tall figures. But yeah, it's a really cool chair build. Anyways, let's move on to the next build. For our next build, we have the Buzz Bomber. Weirdly, according to Brickset, this counts as a minifigure, even though, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to call it a minifigure, but you got this more convoluted build to help it be able to support this flicky within the stinger, which would normally shoot lasers. Which, the build is a bit big, which, on one hand, I do feel like they could have made it more simple to be more accurate to the source material, but on the other hand, I do feel like it does the job well. It has a similar stand to the rings, but the dish is much bigger and also uses this cylinder piece. But yeah, this is a really nice piece. You got some really uncommon pieces, like these, I'm not sure what to call them, these side pieces, I'll say for now, as well as this print on the top, which, yes, that is a print. There are no stickers from this set, which makes it nicer. You got these antennas, which can move up and down if you'd really like, but yeah, even though it's a little bit clunky, it's a really solid build. Let's actually take this out and look at the little Clucky figure. This little Clucky figure isn't exclusive to this set, but it's nice to get more of these little flicky type figures for the Sonic universe in case you want to create more mocks or whatever. But still, it's a really nice and simple build. It has a little bit of printing on the front, as well as a little hole on top where you can put accessories if you like. The set, of course, doesn't come with any accessories, but if you were to get something for, like, from, let's say, the Friends line, and you could easily put a tiara or something on it. Yeah, it's a nice little inclusion, even if it's not really exclusive or anything. But let's get on to the next builds. For our next build, we have Tails' Workshop build, and it's a pretty simple build. You can either have it, like, facing this way, completely straight, or you can have it facing this with the sides closed in, or you can have it more slightly open, which is kind of like what the set advertises. Which, when it's done this way, it kind of makes me think of the little Yoda set from, I think, 2003. You also got this little logo here, which I imagine this is supposed to be based off the Sonic logo at the intro of the game, with Tails' tails. Again, this is a print, which is really nice. I also like the little flower pieces here, and the little opening of the building looks real nice. And if you turn around, I also like the magic these are some really cool pieces to include. You got all sorts of stuff here. You got some technology, some unique pieces, you got some tools up here, and some prints here and there. You got this mechanical arm next to a Chaos Emerald. I'm not sure what this is for. Same with this empty spot here. I'm not sure what this is. I imagine this could be like a water canteen or something to water this plant. And you also got this cool little device, which I imagine Tails could hold, which also has a really unique print, which I really like a lot. But yeah, despite this being pretty small, I do think you could use a little more, but still, it's a nice and simple build. But now let's get into the main attraction of the set in my book. And last but certainly not least, we have Tails' Tornado Biplane, which, despite this being a bit more on the smaller side, I think it really works at this size. Though I do feel like it could have had a third wheel at the bottom. As you can see, it only has 2, so it's just dragging on the ground, but it's alright, I suppose. Got some really uncommon slope pieces, as well as some pieces in some uncommon colors like these propellers, which it's really cool to get them in these colors. If you look in the center, you can see how it's holding. You got these little pieces at the bottom holding these bars, and you got them up top, and you got these bars which I think were introduced within the Monkey King line. And at the side, you got the cockpit with a little lever, as well as a place where you can put your minifigure, and arguably another place back here. And you also got the fin at the back, which has the same print as the workshop, which, let's actually get the minifigures. If you notice at the top, there's an opening spot, which that may seem odd, but oftentimes in the Sonic series, you'd see Sonic sitting right here as Tails pilots the tornado like so. And so that's a really nice touch, even if it's a little awkward, and I don't think there's a piece that covers it up, but still, it's a really nice inclusion. And this is a really, really solid build, and I think this just basically sells the set. What else can sell the set is the minifigures, which let's look right into them right now. Our first actual minifigure, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, who's making a sort of winking expression with a smirk on his face, as you can see here. Now, none of the figures within this set are exclusive, however, this set is the cheapest you can get them. For example, this Sonic minifigure, you can get them in another set that would retail for $100. As you can see, Sonic has some dual-molded legs with some side leg printing, which is just really awesome, as well as some back printing. You also gotta admire the molded head, it's just so incredible, and you got some like printing on the side too. But yeah, this is a pretty basic Sonic figure, but it's nice to get this figure, especially considering this is the cheapest set you can get him in. Now let's look at the next figure, who is arguably the main attraction of this set itself. And lastly, we have Tails the Fox. Miles Powers, Tails, whatever you want to call him, but for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Tails. Which you got a really cool molded head, you got some printing on the front, but you don't have printing on the back. But whilst we're at the back, you can see he's got a unique tail piece, which connects between his torso and legs, which I'm surprised to realize this is a bit of a rubbery material rather than a plastic or a hard plastic. I mean, it is kind of a hard rubber, but not exactly. But you do got him with some short legs, with dual molding, whatever, but no printing on the side. You got some printing on the front, but not on the side. Still, it's really nice, though I do feel like he could have used some mid-legs. Maybe we can get him in another set with some mid-legs. But either way, this is a really solid figure, and it's a great inclusion of the collection. Like I said, this version of Tails does come in another set, however, this set is cheaper by $10, whereas the other one is $50. So, if you want to get Tails, but you don't want to spend as much, then this set is your best bet. However, there are some other sets which include Tails that's slightly cheaper, if I recall correctly, but they don't have this version. They either have him winking or with a more angrier look. But yeah, this is a really nice figure, and just overall solid. Let's move on to the end of the video and talk about my thoughts and opinions on the set. Before I close today's video, I'd like to share a few thoughts of mine, as well as say if I would recommend it or not. I do think this is a really nice set. The tornado build is awesome, even if it's missing a wheel. The workshop, for what it is alright. I do feel like the workshop could have been a lot bigger and had a little bit more, and I do feel like some of the builds could have been a bit more, and the minifigures are good, though I feel like we could have at least had an additional minifigure or so. But would I recommend this set? I would say yeah. For the price of $40, however, I am having a hard time recommending it. I do feel like $40 is just too much. I was lucky enough to get this set for a little bit cheaper, but I do feel like at the very least $30 would have made this set a little bit better. Anyways, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a comment, tell me what you think, and tell me how I can do better. And please leave a like and subscribe because it helps the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one!